From ancient Maya trade routes to modern tourism hotspots, Belize's economic story spans over 1,000 years. It's a tale of adaptation, shaped by natural resources, colonial exploitation, and the constant struggle for economic independence. Before European contact, the Maya civilization dominated this region. City-states like Altun Ha thrived as ceremonial and trade hubs from 250 to 900 CE. Their sophisticated economy relied on agriculture, maize, beans, and cacao, while extensive trade networks moved precious goods like jade and obsidian across Mesoamerica. Though no GDP data exists from this era, archaeological evidence suggests a robust, complex economy that sustained hundreds of thousands of people. The 17th and 18th centuries brought British and Spanish settlers who transformed Belize into an extraction economy. Initially they focused on logwood, prized in Europe for producing red dye for textiles. But by the 18th century, mahogany became the economic backbone. Its rich, durable wood was perfect for furniture and shipbuilding in Britain's expanding empire. This extractive economy relied heavily on enslaved African labor, creating immense wealth for British merchants while devastating local communities. The boom and bust cycles were brutal. When global demand fluctuated, entire communities faced economic collapse. By the 19th century, accessible mahogany forests were depleted. The slow-growing trees had been harvested without replanting. The 1931 hurricane devastated Belize City, the economic center, causing massive unemployment and exposing the economy's fragility. With no GDP data available, we know the economy was small, export-driven, and completely dependent on British markets, a recipe for instability. The early 1900s brought economic crisis as mahogany exports collapsed, and synthetic dyes eliminated demand for logwood. With a population of just 37,000 in 1901, most Belizeans survived through subsistence farming and whatever timber trade remained. The Great Depression and 1931 hurricane created a perfect storm of economic hardship, sparking social unrest and demands for political change. By the 1940s and 50s, sugar and citrus began emerging as new export crops, marking Belize's transition from forestry to agriculture. World War II brought temporary relief through remittances from Belizean soldiers, but the 1949 currency devaluation fueled independence movements. Hurricane Hattie's destruction of Belize City in 1961 prompted the capital's move to Belmopan and accelerated economic diversification efforts. Belize gained independence in 1981 with a population of 145,000 and an economy still heavily dependent on agriculture. The new nation pegged its dollar to the US dollar at 2-to-1, providing crucial economic stability. But the real game changer was emerging: tourism, leveraging Belize's incredible barrier reef and ancient Maya sites. The 1990s saw tourism explode, with visitor numbers growing fivefold and becoming the top foreign exchange earner. By 1999, tourism was generating massive revenue while agriculture, sugar, bananas, citrus, remained vital with banana exports at 16% of total exports. The service sector had surpassed agriculture, reaching 50% of GDP by the 1990s, with nominal GDP hitting $486 million by 1999. The 2000s brought new opportunities with oil discovery and Spanish Lookout in 2005, adding another revenue stream. But vulnerabilities remained. Hurricanes regularly devastated crops and infrastructure, while commodity price swings created economic instability. By 2010, GDP had grown to $1.4 billion with a population of 324,000. But public debt was climbing dangerously to over 80% of GDP. The COVID-19 pandemic devastated tourism-dependent Belize, causing a 14% economic contraction in 2020. But recovery was remarkable: 15.2% growth in 2021 and 9.6% in 2023, driven by tourism's resurgence with nearly 1 million visitors in 2022. By 2024, nominal GDP reached $3.52 billion, with per capita GDP at $7,533 for a population of 411,000. Today's Belize has successfully transitioned from forestry and agriculture to a service-driven economy, with tourism contributing roughly 40% of GDP. The 2025 budget prioritizes fiscal consolidation and infrastructure development, with $1.74 billion in projected revenue. International partnerships, including U.S. aid through the Millennium Challenge Corporation and CARICOM trade ties, support continued development. Yet significant challenges remain. Public debt at 68.5% of GDP, continued vulnerability to hurricanes and external shocks. Crime, corruption, and institutional weaknesses hinder efforts to diversify into agribusiness and other sectors. Recent challenges include slower tourism growth and export difficulties from potential U.S. tariffs, cooling the economic momentum. Despite these challenges, Belize's economic story demonstrates remarkable resilience and adaptability over more than a millennium. From Maya trade networks to modern tourism, this small nation continues balancing growth with stability in an increasingly connected world. The next chapter of Belize's economic history is still being written, shaped by the same forces that have defined it for centuries: natural resources, global markets, and the determination of its people to thrive.